Hi everyone, in this video we'll be talking about how you use your rubric in D2L to grade assignments. Pretty quick and painless process. I teach some sections that have 90 students in those sections, and occasionally I lose all sanity and decide to assign a short paper assignment to them. And when I do, rubrics really help me grade effectively while still maintaining a pretty high level of feedback to each individual student. So let's go back to our Intro to Mass Comm section from the past. As you remember in the last video, we've already created a rubric. We have linked that rubric to assignment number 3, which actually was an assignment that I assigned in my spring 2016 Intro to Mass Comm class. It was a short paper assignment. And what I'm going to do is show you how I would use a rubric to grade one of these papers. Now, when you click on the folder, you get all these submissions here. The student we're going to use today is this particular student right here, one of the best students we had in the class, and you can see his paper is pulled up right here in the pane, so I can don't even have to download the file. He submitted it as a Word doc, so it pulls up here in the view pane, and so all I have to do is click on, under evaluation, since I have my rubric link, click on the Intro to Mass Comm paper rubric. Now, you can go about this one of two ways. What you can do is go back and forth from the paper to the rubric. Like, let's say that I have read the entire paper first and want to give feedback. Like, let's say he had absolutely no APA errors. I thought his content was excellent and he didn't have any grammatical errors. Grading your paper can be simple as that. Of course, we know that not every paper is that easy to grade. So sometimes whenever I'm using a rubric to grade a paper, especially if it's a longer paper or the rubric's a little bit more involved, what I'll do is download the file. All right, so we're going to go to my downloads folder. Bear with me for a second. And I download the file and pull it up here. Oh, hi, Scooter. We'll close you out. Pull up the file here and have the file up in one window and have my paper rubric up in another, so that as I am grading, I can easily go back and forth between the paper and the rubric. Of course, I can rearrange my windows, move things around so that I have one right beside the other. I'm not sure I can do that without changing everything about this video, so I think you get the picture, hopefully. But this is another way to grade, to go through and look at the papers and have them in one pane and then be able to make your comments here. Now, let's assume that this particular student did have minor APA errors. I could choose this, and once I have awarded that student those points, all I have to do is click on this pencil to indicate where the errors were. For example, a common error is running header needs to be in all caps. Might be the error, and so I want to note that so that the student can learn from it and hopefully correct that error in the future. Let's say this student had 3 to 4 grammatical errors. I could also leave feedback here and say, make sure to proofread, consider working with the KSU Writing Center next time. Okay, I can save. So this is optional feedback, but this tends to be pretty easy feedback. Even if you are making the same comments over and over, it actually gets pretty easy to just type those in and plug them into the feedback. So not only are students fully understanding where their grades came from, but they're also seeing that you paid very close attention to their papers and are trying your best to help them. And of course, you can also indicate how well they did as well. If you want to leave feedback because the content was excellent, you could say, content was excellent. Great work. Okay, now you might be wondering if you are stuck giving a certain number of points. Like, let's say that in this rubric, my excellent was 4, good was 3. Let's say I want to give somewhere in between those two. Like, let's say for content was good, but it wasn't quite a 4. Whenever I go into score and feedback, instead of 3 points, if you want to change that, all you have to do is say 3.5 or 3.75. or 3.1, whatever you want. Let's just for simplicity's sake say 3.5, and you can leave specific feedback about why you did that. So you are not tied to the point values that are listed here. You could even go rogue and say your content was good, but I'm still going to give you 4 points for some reason. So this is very helpful whenever you have a rubric where each of the criteria have different point values. Most of my rubrics are a little crazy like that. Like I'll count off maybe or give 5 points for APA, but 10 points for grammar, and I wouldn't have 10 levels up here. I would just have the same 4. So this is really helpful whenever you have levels with different point values and you want to be very specific about the number of points. Now, one important thing to note before you finalize your grade here, make sure this box is checked. Transfer rubric feedback to general feedback. When that box is checked, once you save and record, what you'll see is that the feedback comments that you left are going to go right here automatically in the general feedback for this assignment. You can also add additional content here, say great work or something along those lines. So you can always annotate your feedback and leave more comments. And you can see here that the score is automatically translated here. And once you click update or once you click publish, then you will see that that grade automatically goes into the grade book and you are done with that grading assignment. So you see that rubrics are a very simple and effective and efficient tool to use. I'm happy to help any of you out. If you need more assistance with rubrics or you're still a little confused, by all means reach out and let me know. Rubrics to be able to work for you in D2L and make your assignment grading a little bit easier and also keep your students fully aware of how they can improve on future assignments. Thanks so much.